Schools in Singapore have reached out to students and parents to offer psychological support following the alleged murder of a 13-year-old boy at River Valley High School on Monday. The Straits Times understands that several principals spoke about the incident during school assemblies on Wednesday to help students make sense of what happened. Whether it's shock, confusion or fear that one may feel in the aftermath of a traumatic event that was out of their control, there are ways to cope with the overwhelming emotions. Let's talk about this with the psychologist Dr. Geraldine Tan. She is the director and principal psychologist of the therapy room. Welcome to the show, Doctor. What kinds of psychological support can schools offer to help their students manage with the after effects of a traumatic event like what happened at River Valley High School?
Thank you for having me. Many schools have already started, and I'm very pleased to say that many of them have town hall addresses to their students or for their students. They're not hiding it. They're calling a spade a spade. They are permitting the children to talk about it, to emote about it. They are even permitting the school teachers to talk about it, because we all feel a lot of different emotions. And with a news like that, there are a multitude of emotions that washes through each one of us, and we need to have space to talk about it. So that first step is already very fantastic. And I think there are schools putting in place a psychological help. The counselors are on standby. My team and I are on standby for some schools also, because there might be other effects of what had happened on Monday.
Doctor, so on one hand, there is the support from school. On the other hand, it's back at home. What about parents with teenage children? How should they approach the topic?
Okay, so it sends shockwaves through all of us, or to all of us, right? And parents are feeling very unsafe. Children are feeling very unsafe. Parents are encouraged to speak openly about it because it's all over the news. Speak to your children about some of their discomforts. Parents also are very concerned if their children have faced bullying incidences. Okay, so now they are a bit more hypervigilant, which is one of the symptoms that of trauma, really. And we want to address it so that it doesn't peak, or it doesn't paralyze us. The fear doesn't paralyze us. Parents can encourage or use this as a learning and teaching moment to tell them about mental health, to tell them about the dangers of not communicating about their emotions and bottling it up. I actually use that as a teaching moment to say about talk about like gaming, perhaps, especially the more violent games, to talk about having adequate sleep. A sleep deprived brain can lead to a lot of difficulties. So parents can pick up on all these different topics and themes to talk to the children, and also to let them know that the school authorities, the schools will try their utmost best to keep them safe. I think a lot of chatter about whether the schools are safe, how can this happen? Some of the students that I've spoken with, they have been saying that they are really afraid to go to the toilet now, and what we've done is go in groups, go in pairs, but if you need to go to the toilet, please go to the toilet. Don't just keep it until the end of the day. And last thing that I want to remind everyone, even the children, is do not speculate. Please refrain from doing that because it just grows bigger, right? If we speculate and we don't have all the details. So don't speculate and don't scare yourself.
Good point, Doctor. Doctor, some of us may have experienced traumatic events in our lives, like losing a loved one or witnessing a violent crime. What is your advice to anyone on how to cope with such traumatic events?
Well, we look at the triangle of trauma, the avoidance, the alertness, the anxiety, and this triangle is what we can use as a frame to help us to address. If you do face any one of these, you probably would need to speak with someone, especially if you have any of the depressive symptoms, you have flashbacks, you have nightmares. Do talk to someone about it. Uh, those that are with you, around you, feel free to check in with them. I think it is okay. We feel very worried or embarrassed, like we should not be feeling these emotions, but that's not true. Emotions are real. Emotions are there to tell us that our body is uncomfortable. So we need to respond to it and not run away from it. I think it is also important that the undue pressure we put on ourselves, especially if we think we should not be feeling or we should not be addressing it, will then bring about more stress for our body. I think for this particular case, right, we should look at the secondary trauma for all the students, the parents, the teachers, and those that are involved, and all of us, and to recognize that we need to deal with our own traumas, because death brings about a lot of different sort of emotions, and it re-triggers any sort of past issues that we might have. We have students, that have been bullied before, adults that have been threatened before, and it re-triggers all these memories, and we can react to these memories, the heightened anxiety that we have. I also do want to highlight that there might be copycat behaviors that we should look out for, because for the brain that is so confused, we might think that, it is a cool thing to do. No, it's not a cool thing to do. But the brain is so confused and in shock that, they might pick up the behavior and then mimic the behavior. So also having to look out for that.
Now, if you or you know someone who need to talk to, here are some organizations you can reach out to. Do take a screenshot.